an innovative method to spark creative thinking and collaborative problem solving at companies across business aviation and, in fact, within any industry. Today, we learn about hackathons. From the National Business Aviation Association, this is Flight Plan. I'm Rob Finfrock with your trusted source for business aviation news. Now, it's okay if you're not familiar with the term hackathon. I had to look it up myself. And I learned hackathons have been around since the late 1990s. As you might have guessed, the term originated in the tech sector, where companies would bring together programmers, thought leaders, and other team members, all in the same room, to work together to achieve a defined goal, to hack that shared challenge and create an innovative solution for it. Since that time, hackathons have been adopted far beyond Silicon Valley, including at companies such as Hasbro and Unilever, governmental organizations including NASA, and at NBAA, where hackathons have already spurred new advocacy initiatives and member programs. Mike Nichols, NBAA's Senior Vice President of Strategy and Innovation, tells us more.
As part of our strategic action plan, NBA is working to develop an internal culture of innovation and entrepreneurship. And while we're working to build that innovative culture, we also want our efforts to directly benefit the broader business aviation community. Our first hackathon resulted in 4 concepts, one of which was the focus on unmanned aircraft systems and urban air mobility at NBA base. The innovation display area featured mock-ups of UAS and UAM aircraft, as well as experiential exhibits like the Uber virtual flight experience, as well as the Saffron Cabin mock-up. Those were ideas that came from the hackathon. Essentially, what we did was added some education sessions focused on UAS and UAM and built on the conference within the convention that the hackathon team developed.
Also joining us is Joe D'Amato, NBAA's Vice President of Educational Strategy and Workforce Development. Joe, tell us a bit about what led NBAA to adopt hackathons.
So hackathons have been happening at NBAA now for the last 2 years, so they're relatively new for us. What's not new for us is about 6 years ago, NBAA created an internal innovation committee. And again, with representatives from all of our divisions and different disciplines, with a commitment towards bringing together creative, diverse, innovative thoughts as we looked at how we can make NBAA the best it can be internally, an employer of choice, and also externally as an association, the best association for members. As we have team members who have great ideas that might come up through the innovation committee, they may not have all the tools and resources or perspectives they need to then create that idea that they had. And so by bringing together our team around these hackathons, we can bring in people from all over the company who can help brainstorm and ideate and innovate and create. So hackathons for us, just the last 2 years, great participation from the team. We did the first one as a one-day experience. We actually had a lot of fun doing it on Halloween in 2018. So it had a fun, festive theme to it. And we divided the participating team members into 4 teams, and they each hacked a different idea and then came together at the end of the day to present their ideas to each other. And a few of them did then take flight. We did it again this year. After base, actually, we took all of that enthusiasm and energy people brought back with them from base. They were still riding that great high of Las Vegas, and what a wonderful trade show and exhibition we put on. And we brought them back into the rooms. We did 4 teams, again, solving 4 different problems. And this time we did it over the course of a week with small burst sessions. And then the last day we brought them together to share their ideas with each other. So it's been really exciting when you take people out of their daily element, their daily list of meetings and responsibilities. And you're able to separate from that and drop them into this hackathon concept and say, spend the next few hours or this whole day just creating, ideating, innovating. And it's been really fun. It's been both a great team building activity, a great example of teamwork, but also an excellent idea to get innovative towards solving problems in the industry and within our association.
It sounds like we should expect to see more programs and initiatives from the association stemming from these hackathons.
Certainly. So, our 2019 hackathon, the team generated 4 ideas, all of which are now in the process of being refined. As we develop those ideas, we're using design thinking principles and focus on the user experience to create a different type of product that has a greater chance of success when we introduce that into the marketplace. So, stay tuned to see what new products and services NBA will launch in the next year. But as a final note, from my perspective with regard to our last 2 hackathons, the techniques that we're using can not only be used to create products and services, but can be used to solve complex challenges. Joe and I are excited that the NBA Board of Directors and the Advisory Council has been intrigued and interested with our internal hackathon efforts, and they've asked us to facilitate a hackathon with them addressing workforce development solutions. So we're excited about this opportunity, and we'll be looking forward to engaging with the Board and Advisory Council in this innovative way.
Mike, not only has NBAA embraced hackathons, but I understand some prominent OEMs within our industry are also using them.
As Joe mentioned, we have an internal innovation committee, and we hold quarterly lunch and learns open to anyone on the NBA staff. With those lunch and learns, we invite select industry leaders to speak to our team about innovation in their companies. At one of our recent luncheons, Tyson Ways from ForeFlight highlighted innovations that they've incorporated into their app, which came from the annual hackathons that they conduct. Their team has used machine learning, advanced data modeling, and other IT tools to develop new ways to streamline the ForeFlight app development. Additionally, recently, Daher held a general aviathon, which was a hackathon event that challenged innovators to develop computing capabilities, artificial intelligence processes, and other software that could further improve their TBM family of turboprop aircraft. This was created by their Silicon Valley based innovation program, Armstrong by Daher, and was tailored for students and early stage startups. There were 25 proposals from the US, China, India, and Mexico that were submitted. And just recently, they announced 3 winning concepts that proposed highly imaginative solutions to further increase flight safety for the TBM and enrich the in flight experience for passengers, which is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. So, Joe, we've heard some of the ways that hackathons can help companies tackle challenges and spur innovation. How might NBAA members go about forming hackathons within their own businesses and organizations?
I hope NBA members who are listening to this podcast do think about hosting their own hackathons. It's been really rewarding for us as a team. Some of the things we've learned, first of all, I would say this isn't an exercise just for your senior team. So think about getting a wide cross section of representation from within your company is really important. And again, we're talking about different divisions, different generations, different backgrounds and skill sets, but you really won't be able to hack something and take advantage of the creativity and the innovation that a hackathon is supposed to offer if you're not fostering that diversity of thought. So there really needs to be a mindful thought at the beginning about how to structure this in terms of team makeup. At the same time, make sure everybody has the time for this. That before they set aside time to commit to a hackathon, they know what it is. They make the time in their calendar where they can be distraction free, hopefully tech free. If these are set up properly and you're able to let people know when breaks will happen, when they can go and catch up on emails or work in a quick call. But while they're in the hackathon, they can be fully present. That will contribute to, I think, more ideating and more creativity and innovating as well. A good facilitator is important. Someone has to help guide you on this journey. They don't have to be an expert at hackathons. I don't think Mike or I claim to be experts at hackathons. But having someone who can just help keep the facilitation moving forward. Some of those things, like I mentioned, timing and making sure that the schedule is being managed, or that the problem that everyone is trying to hack becomes the main focus. It's really easy to get off track in any number of meetings that we have, and so having that focus is really important. And then also, it's great to think future forward, but obviously don't try to solve something that you really can't even wrap your head around. I would say if you're getting started, start with something manageable, that is something that your company wants to address or that you think needs to be addressed in the industry, And, and if you have the expertise there that can address it, go for it. But probably don't think of something that's so future forward or pie in the sky or unrealistic that the solutions you'd need to have exist to solve the problem haven't even been invented yet. Then you've probably just shot a little too high, and maybe make it a little bit more manageable, because that's going to create that buy-in. You want everyone to really feel that their time is valuable, that this is going to have an output that they're going to be able to see afterwards and feel pride in knowing they participated, and they'll want to keep doing these. So those are some of the tips from me, but I highly recommend that companies consider this as another way at defining and then solving some of their problems or industry issues. I'm just glad that we're highlighting this. I really, again, think that this is a way for companies that are striving to be innovative, that are striving to feel how they can be more creative, that are striving to be more diverse. This is definitely a vehicle that can set you on that journey. But I'm really excited about the information we've presented, and I hope it sparks some curiosity.
Mike, your thoughts?
Building on what Joe already said, which is absolutely 100% correct, I would also offer that those team members who are participating really should want to be there. They need to be curious, open and honest, and want to work collaboratively to solve a problem. And the facilitators need to encourage participants to challenge ideas, ask great questions, think creatively about the future. And they also have to see themselves as change agents. If you force somebody to participate in a hackathon, they're probably not going to have that open mind, that creativity that you're seeking. And then finally, you need to be prepared to act on the ideas that are generated from the teams. That doesn't necessarily mean taking the idea exactly as it was presented, but have resources allocated to further refine the ideas and bring them to fruition. If you don't do that, then you potentially could squash future creativity and innovation within the organization, which is contrary to what you're trying to do with the hackathon. I'd also offer that anybody who's thinking about starting a hackathon should feel free to reach out to Joe or to me. We'd be happy to spend some time with them, talk in more detail about how we've approached this, and share some of the best practices that we've learned along the way with our member companies.
Companies may also find additional information about hackathons and other important leadership issues on the NBAA website at nbaa.org/admin/leadership. And that's the latest from the National Business Aviation Association. Remember, you can subscribe to all Flight Plan episodes at Apple Podcasts in the App Store, wherever you find your favorite podcasts, or download them from nbaa.org. I'm Rob Finfrock, and thanks for listening to Flight Plan.